Gobi. So we did, and that was all. Back at the house, she got the guest room at the end of the hallway with a private bathroom and her own laptop so she could Skype her family back home. My room was next to hers, and at night, as I'd sit there memorizing SAT words or banging my head against a college application, I'd hear her voice through the wall, talking in low bursts of consonant-heavy syllables I didn't understand, communicating with family members half a world away. At least, that's what I thought. Say female foreign exchange student to any group of high school guys, and you'll get the exact same look. It's like every single one of the dogs playing poker simultaneously catching wind of the same exotic new milk bone. I'd certainly joked with Chow and the other guys enough about it beforehand, all of us picturing some chic Mediterranean lioness with half-lidded eyes, fully upholstered lips, curves like a European sports car, and the legs of a swimsuit model who would tutor me with her feminine wiles before I went off to college. That's not even funny to me now. Gobi wasn't much taller than my kid sister, with oily dark hair that she always tucked back and a fat bun behind her head, where it always escaped to stick stubbornly out, shiny and angular on either side, like flippers on a penguin. Her face all but disappeared behind the massive industrial-grade black horn rims, their lenses so thick that her eyes looked swimmy and colorless, like two amoebas at the other end of a microscope. She had pasty, instant mashed potato skin that could make the smallest single pimple or blemish stand out angrily. Once, and only once, my 12-year-old sister, Annie, offered her makeup tips, and Gobi's reaction was so awkward that we all pretended that it never happened. Her one facial expression, a startled combination of hesitation and uneasy befuddlement, might have made her a target for bullying in some high schools, but in the halls of Upper Thayer, it made her literally invisible, a shadow always hovering somewhere near the lockers with an armload of books clutched against her chest. Her wardrobe tended toward heavy wool sweaters, smock-like shirts, and dense brown skirts that tumbled down below the knee, avalanching over whatever shape of body might have been hiding under there. The only jewelry she ever wore was a plain silver chain with half a heart dangling from it, halfway down the slope of her chest. In the evening, she sat down to dinner with us, silverware clinking, politely participating in the conversation in her low, formal English, answering Mom's questions about sports or current events, until we could all reasonably find an excuse to escape to our separate lives. One day, 6 weeks into her visit, she collapsed in the lunchroom, passed out in a tray of Salisbury steak and mashed potatoes. I was on the other side of the cafeteria when I heard the screams. Susan Monahan was sure she was dead, and by the time Gobi woke up in the school nurse's office, she'd managed to explain her condition. "I have spells sometimes," she said. "It's nothing serious." When my parents asked her later why she'd never told us about it, Gobi only shrugged. "He's under control," was all she said. Except that it wasn't, not really. And from that point she had at least a dozen similar spells. They seemed to come in clusters, stress-related, and we were never sure when the next one would come. Eventually, we found the technical term was temporal lobe epilepsy, basically a short circuit in the brain's electrical activity, either genetic or brought on by some form of head trauma. Dostoevsky had it, and Van Gogh, and maybe St. Paul too, when he got knocked off his donkey on the road to Damascus, if you believe that sort of thing. All I know is that she wasn't allowed to drive. Once I found her sitting straight up at the dining room table with her eyes half open, staring at nothing. When I touched her shoulder, she didn't even look at me. In spite of all this, or maybe because of it, I always smiled and said hi to her in the halls. I helped her with her English Lit homework and practically did her PowerPoint presentation on the New York Stock Exchange on the morning that it was due. Even so, whenever she saw me coming, she always looked away, like she knew how much crap people gave me about it. Not my real friends. I'm talking about world-class losers like Dean Whitaker and Shep Monroe, rich jerks whose Fortune 500 dads swam the icy seas of international finance looking for their next meal. None of that bothered me. The guys that I hung out with and played music with, the guys in Inchworm and one or two friends who hadn't abandoned me when Dad made me quit the swim team to join the debate team, they seemed to understand.